Some of you have come here as adventurers. What does it mean?
And
For a vacationer, the most
coach goer,
so the three. So there is vacationer, professional course goer, and adventurer. So I'll explain.
adventurer. Okay.
So vacationer is someone who's they're here to have a good time, basically, right? Like, you might have seen sometime there are corporate programs and things. So people think, is the resort good? Is the food good? You know, and will you give us a lot of free time? Then we can enjoy ourselves. Take us, show us the local sites and so on. So vacationer is here to have a good time. Professional course goer is busy making notes. Have you seen? Remember back in the day in school, there always was one student who was making all the notes, and we said we'll not study. We'll just make friends with that person. Later on, we'll take their notes. So in every class, there's someone who's busy making notes. But just because they're making notes doesn't mean they're really absorbing everything, right? Because it's a very intellectual process. I want to understand. I want to understand. And I want to compare it to what I've learned earlier. So this is called professional course goer. It's an intellectual approach. And then you have an adventurer who just dives into it, who's willing to dive into it, and they don't know what they'll get from it, if it'll help or not. You just dive into it. Like imagine you're going for an adventure, and then for whatever reason, the path you're on, there's a tree that's fallen. Are you going to call off the trip? Call off the trip. You'll find another way. You'll find another way to keep going. You'll
Other way.
find something else. You'll find another way. You'll find something else to do.
Yes,
Isn't it?
yes.
So this is the attitude I want you to bring to this session. I don't really feel I have to teach you some philosophy or something in particular. I've come from what's called an agenda-less presence. Something very beautiful. When someone is not in a hurry to change you, fix you, improve you, they're just here to be with you. When I meditate in the morning. When I sit with myself, I'm not trying to improve myself. I'm just bearing witness to this process of life. Breathing is happening, thinking is happening, feeling is happening, memories come up, plans come up. And they come up and they subside, and they come up and they subside. One thing my teacher told me is human beings have a tendency to focus on what's arising, what's there. Right? So suppose there's suddenly a noise. We say, no, what is the noise? What happened? Right? But we don't notice the silence. We notice when something happens. Oh, the big news. What's the breaking news? What happened? So we are better at noticing happenings. We're not very good at noticing non-happenings. Our nervous system is tuned to happenings. So in meditation, we tune ourselves to the non-happening, to just what is. It's not very exciting. And you may wonder, kya milega isse kya milega? So that's our tuning. Kya milega isse kya milega? What will I get from this? Even people come for these sessions. Sometimes people ask me, Nithya, what is the takeaway? In fact, even Shivani wrote to me before, Nithya, tell us the 3 topics you'll cover. And I said, no, leave that. Doesn't matter. Right? Because now I'm in pressure. If I give you 3 topics to cover, now I'm under pressure. Okay, in 1 hour, I've got to cover these 3 topics. No, I don't want to be under pressure. I don't want to cover any topic. Will you still be with me, or will you log out of the call? It's not just about accumulating. Our whole schooling has been about accumulating, accumulate knowledge, accumulate concepts. But this journey begins when you realize that there's a beauty in putting things down. It's not always about getting them. So the success for this session for me is not how much you take away from the session. It's how much you put down, put down, put down. And the more you put down, you'll find, I'm complete actually. So do a small experiment with me, right? Your eyes can be open or closed, doesn't matter. But do a small experiment. And before I get into it, Shivani mentioned briefly, I don't know if you were paying attention, because I zone out when people talk about my biography. So, but I lived as a monk for a few years. I lived as a monk for about 6 years. I lived in monasteries, Thailand and Sri Lanka. So the experiment I'm going to make you do, I've done it many, many times, but it's always fresh. So do it with me. Right? So bring your attention to this moment, this experience now. What you're seeing, what you're hearing, what you're feeling. Do it in a very relaxed way. No tension, right? We're not trying to be every moment I have to be present. Just be present, a little bit more present. In a very relaxed way, settle into this experience. And there's some colors, there's some sounds, there's some feelings. And let me give you a strange instruction, which you might not have heard before. The strange instruction is for the next 30 seconds, don't be present. Don't live in the present. So you're allowed to think, your mind is allowed to wander. For the next 30 seconds, don't be present. Very nice. So first of all, I asked you to notice what's happening now in your present experience, what you're seeing, what you're hearing, what you're feeling. So my question for you is, when you did that, were you thinking about, did you think of your name? What is my name? Did you think of your name, your own name? Yes or no? Yeah, most of you think no. Did you think of your age? Are you 30, 40, 50, 90 years old? You don't. Did you think of your gender? Am I a man? Am I a woman? Am I something in between? You don't think of your gender. Do you think of your religion? Oh, I'm Hindu, or I'm Muslim, or I'm Christian. Interesting. Did you think of how much money is in the bank? How many assets you own? Interestingly, you don't think of that. Did you think of your family members? Who all is in my family, joint family, extended family, husband, wife, children? Ah, you didn't think of that. So I'm going to say it in a different way, all right? I'm going to say, I took away your name, I took away your age, took away your religion, took away your gender, I took away your money, I took away your family. Now answer this question. Were you okay? Yes or no? In those moments, were you okay? For most people, they find they were fine actually. In fact, they were more than fine. But the idea is, see, I did an experiment in renunciation. I left my family, I left my job, I left my money, I left even my name changed when I became a monk. But normally, this is the scariest thing. You lose your name, you lose your religion, you lose your family. It's the scariest thing. But I was surprised to find that actually I was fine. There was no problem. So it's like the opposite of what we've been taught our whole life. We've been taught our whole life, have more, accumulate more, achieve more, get more, learn more, then you'll be okay. And what I discovered to my surprise was I'm already okay. And of course, it's great to have friends, it's great to have family, it's great to have all of those things. But my okayness is not dependent on that. This is a fantastic discovery. And it's something you can discover over and over again. So, what I learned from this is in the present moment, there are never any problems. In the present moment, I have nothing. In some sense, I am nothing because I can't define who I am. All the definitions have gone away. In India, when you go to a mandir, you'll take out your shoes, right? Even I think masjid, you take out your shoes. You enter a temple or a mosque, you take out your shoes. When you enter the present moment, you take out everything. You cannot enter the present. If you come into the present moment with some idea, I'm this, I'm that, you can't be in the present. You'll be in some concept. The present moment is like a fire. इंडिया में ना यज्ञ होता है. Keep putting things in the air. तो ये एक यज्ञ है. ये एक अग्नि है. सब कुछ जल जाएगा. कोई बचेगा ही नहीं. Then I gave you an interesting question. I said, okay, assignment. I said, okay, don't be in the present. Whatever happens, don't be in the present. 30 seconds, don't be in the present. How successful were you in not being in the present? Try again. For the next 10 seconds, don't be in the present. Let your mind wander. कितनी अनोखी बात है. Chances are that were the most aware 10 seconds of your entire day so far. Even if you were thinking, you were aware that you were thinking. There's some questions. That's fine. Yeah, so now these kinds of questions, I want you to now be present with me. You're getting into how to do. You're not actually present with me. Like if you just do the experiment I asked you to do right now, I said, don't be present. Were you successful at not being present? If you were unsuccessful at not being present, then this question doesn't apply. You are incapable of not being present. You have no capacity to not be. But you have some concept about what present means. Oh, being present means I'd be peaceful all the time. So let me tell you, I began meditating at what age of 16 or something. I'm 46 now. So calculate the number of years I've been meditating. So I'm here to tell you I'm sorry. Uh, Being present doesn't mean that everything will always feel good. No. Being present doesn't mean that suddenly everything in your life will be resolved. No. But being present means you will touch something deeper than your personality, deeper than what you think you know and what you don't know, what you understand and don't understand. Normally we say, I'm moving through life. But when you're present, you know what happens? You feel life is moving through you. You're not moving through life. Life is moving through. So you're tapping into a deeper intelligence. तो ये बड़ी अनोखी चीज है, बड़ी सिंपल चीजें हैं, पर बहुत बड़ी अनोखी चीज है. So today's session is called the magic of living from your center. In a way, what is your center? Is your heart your center? Is your mind your center? Is the present moment the center? What is the center? Like, even right now you're listening. You'll say, yeah, I'm listening to Nithya. So then we can go deeper and say, well, who's listening? No, I'm listening. Okay, but who's listening? And then you get very confused. Yeah, but who is listening? Who's listening? Like right now, I can hear my own words. Right now, all of you are quiet. I'm hearing my own words. So then I ask myself, who's hearing these words? No, I'm hearing these. Oh, who's hearing? Who's seeing this? I'm seeing this. Come on, Nitya, I'm seeing this. Who's seeing? You'll find you don't know who you are. It's a fascinating thing. And we don't know where we come from. Okay, at the most, you can trace it back to your birth, right? I was born in Himachal Pradesh. I was born in Delhi. I was born in Chennai. Okay, but then before that, then you don't know. And after death, again, you don't know where you go. You may have some theories, but you don't really know. And even right now, who's having this experience? Let's be honest, we don't know. And one of my friends, she teaches mindfulness. She said, let me do this with you. Okay, just look at anything. So in front of me, there's a cabinet of books. There's a TV on the side, some furniture. Just look at anything, okay? And then just start describing it. So then I'll say, okay, what is that? And like I may say, okay, that's a book cabinet. Okay, and what is a book cabinet? A book cabinet is what holds books. And what is that? Now, if you ask anything you look at, just ask yourself, what is that? And you'll give an answer. Then again, ask, and what is that? Then again, ask, and what is that? And after 5 or 6 or 7 times, keep trying on your own. In some cases, 5 times, in some cases, 10 times. But sooner or later, you'll have to say, I don't know. So anything in your experience, if you ask a few times, so I'll say, okay, what is this? This is my hand. But what is the hand? Hand is made of atoms. Okay, but what is atoms? Atoms is made of energy. But what is energy? And sooner or later, some people are more stubborn, so they take a long time. But eventually, they'll have to admit, I don't. So where we come from, we don't know. Where we go to, we don't know. Who's having this experience, we don't know. What is this experience, we don't know. So the only honest statement the mind can make is I don't. That is the only honest statement the mind can make. Everything else is a lie. And until you see the lie, you cannot start waking up. You will always be bound by some kind of ignorance, some kind of idea. It starts by the spiritual journey begins by saying, I don't know. If you begin with I know, you're doomed from the beginning. I don't. So again and again, what do I know? Or maybe a better way of saying that, what do I know? You can ask like that. What do I? Maybe that's an even better way. Instead of saying I don't. Even saying I don't know is a kind of a statement, very assertive statement. What do I really know? What really is it? So in the Zen tradition, there are three powerful ideas. Please listen to this. Many of you I've heard are in the financial industry or in other professions. You're working with people all the time. Right? So they're going to help you, these three ideas. So keep these three ideas close to you. What's the first idea? The first one is not knowing. Not knowing. I had taken my mother during COVID was not sick, was not well, so I took her to the doctor. And those days, COVID protocols were on and everything. Like it's very strict going to the hospital. Okay, so we took her to the hospital. And after a long wait, we get to meet the doctor. And my mother just starts describing her symptom. She barely even spent 20 seconds describing her symptom. ये हो रहा है, थोड़ा चक्कर आ रहे हैं, ये हो रहा है, feeling a little dizzy. And he starts writing a prescription. Now, any of you, if within 20 seconds the doctor starts writing a prescription, you'll be a little suspicious. Okay, now, I've barely even described, you don't know my history. I've barely even described it. Already you've decided what's happened to me. Even if he's correct, you will suspect that, this person has jumped to a conclusion. Have you noticed when people start talking to you sometimes? Before they can even finish, you know what their problem is. "Acha, I know what's happening. I know exactly what's happening to you. Let me tell you what to do." This is called jumping to a conclusion. When you go too fast like this, you usually miss the mark. So slow down. So you ask yourself, what do I really know? What if I actually know nothing? What if I have nothing to offer this person? Even for sessions like this, I like to come to a big zero. What if I have nothing to offer all of you? Would that be okay? Would you be okay just sitting and chatting for an hour? I mean, if you think about it, the people who make the most money are movie stars, right? At the end of 2 hours, nothing much has happened, but they earned a lot of money. Not that you necessarily learned something a lot, right? But you were engaged. You were engaged, and it was the process of being engaged. You were fully there. You were engaged. You felt something that felt meaningful. It's connection that's meaningful. It's the process that's meaningful. It's diving into it that's meaningful. So the first principle is not knowing. Not knowing. When you meet someone, like even as I'm meeting you, first of all, even Shivani, I've never really physically met Shivani. I don't know you guys. I don't know what to tell you guys. So not knowing, come to a place of not knowing. Second one's very beautiful, bearing witness. What is bearing witness? Connect with their human experience. What's it like to be you right now? In New Zealand, there's a tribe called the Maori tribe, and they're very healthy people. They don't get sick very often. So the Australian doctors were interested. How come these people are so healthy and they don't get sick? What are their methods of being healthy? How do they cure their sick people? So they went to study the Maori tribe. So they asked the local doctor there, the medicine man, can we learn from your methods? He said, all right, you can observe our method. There was a lady who wasn't feeling very well. So they brought her to the middle of the tribe, and about 20 people sat around her. And in their language, they all kind of held hands and they chanted together. They said something. And then she replied. Then again, they said the same thing. Again, she replied. And this went on for 2 hours. So what is happening here? What are these people saying? What is she replying? So the people around are saying one sentence over and over again. They're asking her, what is it you're not saying? What is it you're not saying because no one's asking? And she gives some kind of an answer. Then again, they ask her, what is it you're not saying because no one's asking? She gives some kind of an answer. What is it you're not saying because no one's asking? And this goes on for 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours. And at the end of that, the lady was healed. I realized in my journey that most physical problems, in fact, I would say all physical problems, 90% of it is emotion. 90% of your physical problem is an emotional aspect. And no matter what it is, even if it's a physical thing like arthritis or you have some ulcers or you have acidity or you have a cancer, doesn't matter. But a big component of that is your emotions. Deal with the emotions, everything is manageable. Yes, there may still be physical symptoms, but it's manageable. Many times people message me, oh, Nithya, I have to go for a surgery today. I have a doctor's appointment. I have a dentist appointment. So I give them a very simple statement. You can write this down if you like it. Every hand that touches me is a healing hand. Every hand that touches me is a healing hand. I'm so grateful. So grateful. And they repeat this before their surgery, before their dental procedure, whatever it is. Every hand that will touch me will be a healing hand, will be a hand of grace, will be a hand of love. The fear goes away. And they say, wow, it went much better than expected. So, not knowing, bearing witness. What is bearing witness? Bearing witness is connecting, empathizing with the human nature. What is it like to be you right now? When you live with someone for a long time, maybe you have a husband or wife, or children, you live with them for a long time, you know what happens? You stop seeing them. You only see your stories with them. Just yesterday, I had this thought that if all of you try right now, even though you don't know me that well, or whatever, if all of you could see me without your disappointments and expectations, right? If all of you could just see me without your disappointments and expectations, what would you see? In your family, if you could just see your family members without your disappointments, disappointment is all the way they let you down in the past, and expectation, all the way they're supposed to fulfill you in the future, including right now. Right? This is a transaction. This is not a connection. This is a transaction. Personalities never love. They want something. When you're in personality mode, you're in a wanting mode. And don't make it wrong. We have personality, the part of our human experience. Don't make it wrong, but recognize it. So when you're with someone for a long time, you stop seeing them. You only see your images of them, your projections of them, your memories, your expectations of them. So we stop connecting, we stop relating, we start projecting. I learned a very powerful thing from one of my teachers, Byron Katie. She said, and you can write this down if you like, it's a very short statement. No two people, no two people have ever met. What does it mean? I mean, you meet so many people every day, but you're not meeting them. No two people have ever met. What are you meeting? You're meeting your thoughts about them. Right now, some of you are meeting me for the first time. You're figuring out who is this guy? Is there something here? Is it worth it? He seems to be full of himself. Oh, he seems saying something very valuable. You're not meeting me, you're meeting your thoughts about me. You're meeting your ideas about me. You're meeting your assumptions about me. You've never met me. Let's go deeper. I'm going to say something dramatic. You've never met your mother. Never. Not once. You only met your thoughts about your mother. The days in your life you had loving thoughts towards your mother, you had a loving connection, relationship with your mother. The days in your life you had judgmental thoughts, comparative thoughts towards your mother, you had a judgmental and painful relationship with your mother. Now let's go one step deeper. You've never met yourself. When you look in the mirror, do you see yourself? Or do you see your ideas about yourself? Putting on too much weight, not taking care of my skin, need to do this more, wish my nose was a little different, or I look better than anybody else. That's another kind of a hypnosis. So, do you really see yourself in the mirror? Or do you see your thoughts about yourself? It's a very powerful recognition. We don't see each other, we see our thoughts about each other. So, in meditation, why do we meditate? We meditate to meet ourselves for a short while without your thinking. That doesn't mean you're thoughtless. There'll still be thoughts. You don't have to believe your thoughts. So meet yourself without the layer of I am this, I am that, I should be this, I should be that. Meet yourself in a way naked. All these clothes, all these layers of clothes we put on. Your identities. I'm a CA. I'm a wife. I'm a citizen. That's fine, but that's not who you really are. That's a role that you're playing. So it's a wonderful relief, sweet relief to just be. Maybe towards the end of today's session, I'll guide you through a meditation. So you experience it. So no two people have ever met. We've only met our stories and assumptions about each other. So then what is love? Love is meeting the other without our story. So I'm inviting you now, please love me. How will you love me? See me without your disappointment, without your expectation. Then you'll just begin to see me. Like right now, I can see some of your videos are on, so I can see you. You know what's interesting? And you also try this experiment. Maybe your videos are off and you can see other people's videos. Just try this. Just look at anyone on the screen. So for example, I'm looking at Parikshit ji. He's smiling nicely. So when I'm looking at, in the moment I'm looking at Parikshit ji, it's fascinating. I can't see myself. In the moment I'm looking at you, Parikshit ji, I can't see myself. I'm only seeing you. You think that's amazing? You also try. In the moment you're looking at me, you can't see yourself. Just check. The only way you can see me is by momentarily disappearing. What a profound thing this is. So this is the best definition of love I've ever come across. What is the definition of love? Love is disappearing in favor of the other. So Parikshit ji, when I see you and I don't think of myself, don't imagine myself, that micro moment, that's love. I'm not expecting anything from you. I'm not disappointed with you. I don't need you to be better or worse. I don't need your mustache to be longer or shorter. It just is. You just are. You're exactly the way you are. These are moments of connection. These are micro moments of connection.
Nitya, can you repeat, what you said about love once again,
Love
please?
is disappearing. Love is disappearing in favor of the other. Love is disappearing in favor of the other.
Fantastic statement, sir. Very fantastic. Unbelievable. Yes.
So when you're with your clients, I'll tell you, even though I don't know the work you do, I'm going to guess. My guess is you enjoy your work the most when you're with your client. You just forget about your own agenda. What are my fees? What's my cut? What do they have to pay me? What's my commission? Your best moments with your clients is you just disappear and you're like, "Arey, inka kya kare? How can we support? How can I serve? How can I be of benefit? What are your challenges? What's your pain? From all the things I know, how can I make your life a little bit better?" Those are the magical moments. And then we come into, "Arey, but you've not paid my fees from last month." What about that? And now it becomes transactional. Like, "You're not giving me what I want. I'm disappointed. I'm expecting more. For 5 years, you haven't changed our fees. What is that about?" Right? See, now the personality came. So right now I'm in flow. I'm not thinking about whether you agree with me, disagree with me. People are joining the meeting, leaving the meeting. I'm in flow. Then later on, Shivani says, "नित्या, अच्छा सेशन था पर आपने इंग्लिश में बहुत बोला, लोगों को थोड़ा हिंदी और चाहिए था, चले गए लोग." अरे अरे, I should have spoken more in Hindi. Oh shucks. Should have, could have, would have. Yeah. I've offered so many, I began teaching, what is it, 2006, I think I began teaching. I noticed that in the flow of doing stuff, it's so simple, it's so beautiful. But then you start thinking about it, क्या हुआ, क्या ज़्यादा होना चाहिए था, क्या कम होना चाहिए था, what should I have done more, less, this, that. Then the questioning comes, then the problem comes. Comparison, expectation, disappointment. What's done is done. What's done is done. You cannot change your past. Do your best in dharma, leave the rest to karma. I read this, I was reading a book in my monastery. I was a monk. Simple lines. Do your best in dharma. What is dharma? Dharma is show up. Be there fully. Like right now, I'm fully with you. All of you. Do your best in dharma, leave the rest to karma. The wheel will turn its round. True peace will be found. So aap lage raho. You be fully in it. You put yourself, this is called meraki. In Greece, this is the word called meraki. What is meraki? Pour yourself into what you're doing. With all your heart, all your mind, all your soul, pour yourself into what you're doing to such an extent that a little bit of you lives on in it forever. And a little bit of that lives on in you forever. Your best holidays, they're still living in you. A little bit of that place is still in you. And a little bit of you is still in that place. It's intermingled, it's become one. Your best friend, a little bit of them is in you forever. A little bit of you is in them forever. Your children, a lot of them is in you forever. A lot of you is in them forever. This is the journey of life. So the three principles of Zen people are not knowing, bearing witness, loving actions. Remember that comes number three, that doesn't come number one. If you start with loving action, you're coming from assumption, presumption. There was a homework assignment. This teacher said on the weekend, do something kind for someone and come and tell us on Monday morning. Students being students, didn't do anything Saturday, didn't do anything Sunday. अरे अरे किसी को we have to do something kind, कुछ हमें हमें kind करना था स्कूल से जाने से पहले. We have to do some the homework assignment all that. So they found an old lady and they helped her cross the street. And they were very happy. But the lady didn't want to cross the street. So this is what, trying to be helpful is like. I need to be helpful. But sometimes nobody, they're not expecting it. In the old days, uh, maybe even today, in villages, people didn't have access to shoes. Now, of course, I think they do. But in the old days, they didn't have access to shoes. So if they ever got shoes, if they ever got chappal or shoes, if there was ever a puddle of water, they'll take it out and walk nange pair. जूतों को खराब नहीं करना है अच्छे जूते तो हम लोग कहते हैं पैरों को खराब नहीं कर रहा है बोलते हैं जूतों को खराब नहीं करना है जूतों को साफ रखना टेक आउट योर शूज so the idea here is what do we really know in our desire to help someone do we really know what they really need have you seen the example of the cocoon the butterfly and the cocoon the caterpillar goes into a cocoon before it becomes a butterfly it's a process actually very interesting process the every cell of the caterpillar will melt and will reorganize to become a butterfly. So in a way, those moments of your life, you say, I don't understand anything that's happening. Nothing makes sense anymore. Nothing makes sense. My profession doesn't make sense. My family doesn't make sense. My religion doesn't make sense. Nothing makes sense. And I'll say, wonderful, you're in the cocoon. Nothing makes sense. So if you try to help the cocoon, let's help it open. Let's help it open. Let the butterfly come out. You will kill the butterfly. You have to allow it to be in the cocoon. The process of the butterfly breaking out of the cocoon fills its wings with blood and it can fly. It's painful. It's not easy to break out of the cocoon. It's very hard. They probably struggle for hours, maybe days. But eventually they break out of the cocoon. The struggle you're going through, if someone tries to come and make it very easy for you, there's no guarantee that's really beneficial for you. So, which is why in my tradition they say to teach is a mistake. And to not teach is also a mistake. So which mistake are you going to make? So I'm fully aware from the beginning of the session that I'm only going to make mistake after mistake after mistake. And it's okay. That's what the game of life is about. Ramakrishna Paramahans said something very powerful. It touched me very deeply. Ramakrishna Paramahans, if you know, was a great saint of India. And he once said, even if you have a fake guru, fake Dongi Guru, Dongi Baba. Right? Even if you have a fake guru, but you have sincere love, admiration, aspiration. If your if your wishes are sincere, that Dongi Guru, that fake guru will take you to the true God. How powerful is that? What a wonderful assurance he's given all. Even if you have a fake guru, but your aspiration is sincere. So I'll even say, even if you have a fake religion, let's say your entire religion is fake, made up religion, nothing true in that, but your aspiration is sincere, you will find the reality through that fake religion. In fact, the more you go along, you'll start to realize it's all fake, it's all made up. All your senses are reporting, your eyes are reporting, ears are reporting, nose, it's actually all made up. It's not reality. What you see is not reality. Your dog sees it differently. A butterfly sees it differently. Scientific instruments see it differently. What is the reality here? So the three principles: not knowing. Do I really know? What do I know? And bearing witness. Let's connect. Let's connect with what's actually going on without my disappointments and expectations. Let's really connect. And then the loving actions emerge, but they don't emerge from your mind. The loving actions emerge from a very different place. There was I think it's still there, this company called Zappos. I think Zappos. It's a shoe. It's a shoe. I think it's in the US. Yeah, it's Zappos. So it was ranked number one in customer service in the whole world because they told their people, you're not here to sell shoes. You're here to really connect with your customer. That was the main teaching there. You're not here to sell shoes. They had some interesting thing. Their office was in Las Vegas. If you ever had an interview, you'd fly into Las Vegas airport. They always had a shuttle waiting. Anybody could come and visit their factory, or not a factory, it's more like their office. So they had a shuttle waiting. So if you had an interview, if you want to visit their office, you'd get into the shuttle driver would take you, you'd have your interview, and he'd take you back to the airport. Now, suppose you'd gone for an interview with Zappos. You'd arrive at the airport, you take the shuttle, you'd have a 2, 3 interviews, get back in the shuttle, and take the flight out. So not only were the people who interviewed you asked, how suitable a candidate are you? What people didn't know was the shuttle driver was also asked, how did he treat you? It's how you treat people you have no affiliation with. You have nothing to expect. We all treat, जिससे कुछ मिलने वाला है उसे तो हम अच्छा treat करते ही हैं. जिससे कुछ नहीं मिलने वाला उससे कैसे treat करते हो आप? That guy in the toll booth, that waiter over there. Ordinary people who have nothing. This man on the street, the car that's taking 2 seconds longer to start on the red light. How are you treating those people who have you have nothing to get from those people, have no impression to make? It's so powerful. So the CEO, just to test it out, one day he called the Zappos helpline and he said, "I want to order a pizza." The guy's confused. No, we sell shoes, sir. He doesn't know the CEO is calling. We sell shoes. No, no, I want to order a pizza. Help me. So he says, "Okay, where are you?" He says, "I'm in this part of California." So the guy actually goes on his phone and says, "Okay, I think the closest pizza shop is 200 meters away. Go forward and left." And this was an example of their culture. That in that moment, what's needed? Even if you're there to sell shoes, but in that moment, the guy wants pizza. Okay, go take it. This is the way you get a pizza. So in other words, respond to the humanity of the situation. My friend Nandini was in you know what a pileup is on a highway? When one car suddenly brakes, you might have seen it. One after the other cars hit each other because it's high speed, right? It's called a pileup. So one car did a brake and 10 cars, thum, 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 they hit each other. So her car also got involved in that. So luckily she was fine. Now, modern cars have good safety mechanisms, but the car was damaged. Next day she calls her insurance agent. He says, I was in an accident. So she's very surprised. The guy doesn't say, ma'am, what's your policy number? The first question is, ma'am, are you okay? Where are you? Do you need help? Can I set assistance for you? So what a beautiful thing. The insurance company, this guy, his first question is not, give me your policy number, let me check. No, no. Are you okay? She was touched by that. Wow. He's asking a human question, not a business question. These are moments of connection. She said, no, no, I'm fine. It happened yesterday. Yeah, our car got a bit damaged. So I'm here to tell you, but I'm fine. And she felt so happy that he asked a human question, not a business question. These are moments of connection. This changes everything. So in your association, or whether you're CAs or whatever other profession, doctors, whatever profession you have, I invite your life will become infinitely more fun, more beautiful if you don't go with a heavy sense of I have to get something from these people or even I have to give something to these people. Too much pressure. First of all, you're assuming you have to give something to them. So if you were never born, the world would still go on, or who knows if it would go on. But the sense of if I'm not giving what I have to give, like I'm very clear, even without me, you're gonna have a great life. But maybe I can add a little fragrance of some of the things I've learned. You still have an amazing life. So I don't feel I'm indispensable or what I have to share is indispensable. But whatever I've learned, it has very deeply cleaned out certain heaviness that I picked up without even realizing. So when you meet people, just meet them. Your agenda is to be as present with them as possible. Love is disappearing in favor of the other. Not knowing. Because if you're knowing, then you're already projecting, you're already planning. And I know it's hard, but this is a good kind of hard. We should not be afraid of hard things. We do a lot of hard things in life. This is a good kind of hard. The hard job of being present. Breathe. Breathing is one way to be present. I tell myself many times every day, I think I tell myself, and not always in pleasant situations, even in unpleasant situations, I tell myself, what if this is the most perfect moment of my life? Stuck in a traffic jam. What if this is the most perfect moment of my life? Family conflict going on. Someone's angry, someone's upset. What if this is the most perfect moment of my life? Such a powerful statement. It's like an atom bomb that goes off. Because your whole mind is telling you, your whole emotion, no, no, it's terrible, terrible. What is this? Why again? Same thing, same complication, same drama. And you say, but what if this is the most perfect moment of my life? Fascinating. You just change the entire. We pray to God to change our situations. And God says, but I gave the situation so you can change. So suppose I tell you your life the way it is right now, professional challenges, financial challenges, relationship challenges, health challenges, spiritual challenges, fill in the blank, thousands of challenges. Suppose I tell you the life the way it is right now is precisely engineered for your most mind-blowing enlightenment. Precisely engineered. Not even one atom is out of place. If you have dandruff, if you have bad breath, if you can't sleep well at night, if your dhobi keeps messing up your best clothes, precisely engineered. The person who makes food at home keeps putting more salt in there than they should, more spice than they should. Precisely engineered. All of this precisely engineered. Suppose I tell you not a single atom in the entire universe is out of place. Every atom. Just be with this thought for 1 second. What if not a single atom in the entire universe is in the wrong place? That's a micro nirvana right there. That's nirvana. What is nirvana? Not fighting with samsara. I should be different, you should be different, government should be different, nature should be different. It is what it is. Jo hai, jaisa hai. This is the center. तो हम कर्ता भाव को नीचे नीचे रखते हैं, भोक्ता भाव को नीचे रखते हैं। कर्ता भाव मैं कर रहा हूँ, मैं ये सेशन कर रहा हूँ। भोक्ता भाव है मैं सुन रहा हूँ, मैं रिसीव कर रहा हूँ, मैं लर्न कर रहा हूँ, कर रही हूँ। भोक्ता भाव, आई एम द एक्सपीरियंस। कर्ता भाव, आई एम द डूअर। Go deeper, drashta bhav. I am witnessing myself sharing a few things. Drashta bhav. I'm witnessing myself receiving a few things. I may agree, I may not agree. Fine. That's my personality. Drashta bhav. And then you go even deeper. But who is witnessing right now? Who's witnessing speaking? I can't find it. Right now, who's witnessing listening, learning? Who's witnessing? Can you find it?
We all are.
We all are. But what is the we all are? Is it a thing?
That's a very
Is
deep
it a thing?
question.
It's a deep question, but don't. That's also a deviation. Don't even say it's a deep question. Yeah, that's a deviation.
But you can question every question. You can
Ah,
question every answer, every question.
yes. So it's that. It's the spirit. It's the spirit of a big question mark.
Yes.
When the Buddha was teaching, someone said, "This is too difficult," and the Buddha said, "My disciples don't say this is difficult. My disciples don't say it is easy. They do what needs to be done.
Be with it.
Do what needs to be done." तो जब भूख लगती है तो हमें खाना खाना है तो खाना खाना है। कपड़े गंदे हैं तो धोना है तो धोना है। ये नहीं कहते अरे वॉशिंग मशीन नहीं है। अरे धोना है तो धोना है। घर गंदा है तो साफ करना है। कोई बीमार है तो दवाई दवाई लानी है। तो अगर अंदर तड़प रहे हैं, किसी भी तरह से तड़प रहे हैं, तो हमें उसका सुलझना है ना, क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पर। तो ये बात है बस। तो ये मंथन होना पड़ेगा। ये जो इसे कहते हैं तपस्या, ये जो बर्निंग है, वी आर ऑल बर्निंग इन सम वे। रूमी हैड अ ब्यूटीफुल टीचिंग। लव इज गोइंग टू बर्न यू। Love is going to burn you. Everything I'm sharing here is coming from love. What is love? Love is I'm not expecting you to be different from who you are. You are as you are. So this teaching, this idea is going to burn you. You'll not like this idea. At one part, you will not like this idea that I am the way I am. And Rumi says, love is going to burn you, and that's not a problem. You know what the problem is? Rumi says, you burn incompletely. So Rumi is saying, burn completely, burn completely. Go all the way, go all the way. So one thing I've learned is fully feeling what I'm feeling is very healing. Whatever it is, if you're angry, also feel that anger. If you're disappointed, feel that disappointment. If you're frustrated, feel that frustration. If you're irritated, feel that irritation. Fully feeling what you're feeling is very healing. Scientists tell us no emotion can last more than 90 seconds until you go again and think about it again, think about it again, think about it again. Like a bell. I ring the bell. Tang. कब तक वो घंटी बजेगी? 1 मिनट, 2 मिनट, 3 मिनट बजेगी। इसी पॉइंट पे तो बंद होने वाली है ना, अपने आप थोड़ी अब बाहर फिर से छूओगे, फिर से बजेगी, फिर से छूओगे, फिर से बजेगी। तो यही बात है। थिंग्स हैपन इन योर लाइफ, द ones you keep going back and how could this happen, how could they say this, how could they do this, how could they deceive me, how could they abandon me, बार बार मारो उस घंटी को तो वो बजती रहेगी, जिंदगी भर बजती रहेगी घंटी। छोड़ दो उस घंटी को। In the Zen teaching, they have a very interesting description of enlightenment. What is enlightenment? Enlightenment is being a broken bell. Being a broken bell? Why would you want to be a broken bell? A normal bell, when you hit it, it makes a sound. Ring. A broken bell, when you hit it, like what do I have here? Suppose this is a bell, and I go. There's no resonance. The sound that's there is just there. After that, there's no resonance. Finished. तो घटना घटती खत्म हो जाती है, घटना घटती खत्म हो जाती है, घटना घटती खत्म हो जाती है। तो आपके जो पूर्व संस्कार हैं, पूर्व कर्म हैं, जो आपने रॉकेट जो भेजे हैं, अलग अलग रॉकेट्स ऑफ डिजायर, रॉकेट्स ऑफ एस्पिरेशन, होप, उनके आपको यू विल फील द एनर्जी ऑफ दैट, यू all the incomplete loops of your life, you will feel the energy, the tug of the incomplete loops of your life, and you meet them in the present. You fully feel what you're feeling, you breathe with it. Try right now. As you're sitting here right now, boomerangs are coming back to you. Things that were done in the past, not done in the past, complete things, incomplete things, they're all coming back. They're all right here in this moment. Your whole life is right here. And some of it is tolerable, some of it is intolerable. Just be with it. Because every moment you're being with it, you're tolerating it. And it's moving through you. और इससे एक स्वाद आता है। जैसे कि जो समुद्र का मंथन होता है तो फिर विष भी निकलता है और अमृत भी निकलता है। तो जैसे आपका मंथन हो रहा है, इस क्षण में आपका मंथन हो रहा है, सबका मंथन हो रहा है, कोई नहीं बचता है इससे। लव इज गोना बर्न यू एंड दैट्स नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम। द प्रॉब्लम इज यू बर्न इनकम्प्लीटली। जो हमारे भीतर जो मंथन हो रहा है उसके साथ आप थोड़ा प्रेजेंट हो जाइए। ब्रीद विद इट, बी विद इट। केवल दर्शन, केवल दर्शन। तो क्या मतलब घटना घट रही है पर किसी पर घटित नहीं हो रही, अपने आप घट। बहुत कुछ हो रहा है पर कोई है नहीं यहाँ पे डिलीवरी लेने के लिए। कितनी महान, कितनी सुंदर बात हो गई। There is suffering but no one who suffers. There is desire but no one who experiences it. There is a path but no one walks it. And there is nirvana, there is quenching, but no one who enters it. I'm going to give you a message. Please listen to it quite carefully. Receive it deeper than your mind, deeper than your heart. Whatever you are wanting is also wanting you. Whatever you are seeking is also seeking you. You are not who you think you are. You are not who you've been told you are. You are not what you do. You are not what you know. In fact, anything that can be described, you are definitely not that. Why? Because every time you define yourself, you confine yourself. Every time you define yourself, you confine yourself, you limit yourself. So you are undefined. Yes, outwardly you can be a CA or a doctor or an engineer, but inwardly always know you're not that. Outwardly you can be a man or a woman, a Hindu or a Muslim, but inwardly know you're not that. परवरदिगार हो, परवरदिगार हो, परवरदिगार हो. You are God in clever disguise. The disguise is so good that even you're fooled by it. You are the supreme reality in clever, clever disguise. Disguise is so good that even you're fooled by it. But in this moment, you're not fooled. In this moment, please know that you are worthy. You are worthy of all that is good, all that is beautiful, all that is wholesome. You are worthy of all that is true, all that is natural. You're worthy of completeness. You're worthy of perfection, natural perfection, not made up perfection. You were complete before you were born. You were complete in the moment of birth. Every moment of your life since birth has been a complete moment, irrespective of what your memories tell you, irrespective of what your mind tells you. It's been a complete moment. This moment now is a complete moment. The rest of this life will be Purnamada Purnamidam, complete, complete, complete. And from completeness will come more completeness. And if you want it to be so, this life can be the last life without doing any extra effort, without making it complicated. This can be the last life. And if you want to have more adventures, so be it. That's also possible. It's as simple as deciding. Enough travels for now. Enough looking in the wrong place. Enough looking for what was never even lost to begin with. Each of us has some kind of a thirst. Could be a thirst for experience, a thirst for love, a thirst for approval, appreciation, accomplishment, a thirst for spiritual experience, thirst for love, divine love. But go deeper. The thirst itself is sacred. Don't just be in a rush to fulfill that thirst. Be with that thirst. Can you right now feel your thirst? Wow. Somehow nature planted this in me. I bow down to this thirst. I've been judging it for so long, comparing it for so long. I bow down to this thirst. This thirst is a hidden message from God. It's a way back to my true home. And please know that one person's thirst is not better than another person's thirst. If you're on a spiritual quest, don't assume your quest is better than someone who's on a quest to making 100 crore rupees. No, don't assume that. You will find your God on your journey. Why? Because what you're searching for, you are that. This is a game of hide and seek. गुरु नानक कहते हैं कि अगर हम सब में भगवान नहीं देखेंगे तो हमें भगवान दिखेंगे. You don't see God in all, you will not see God at all. तो पूरे दिन में 1 मिनट तो निकालिए. जब आप सोच लीजिए, देखिए अंदर भी भगवान है, बाहर भी भगवान है, सब में भगवान है और सब भी भगवान है. और भगवान यही चाहते हैं कि मैं ये जान लूं, समझ लूं, चख लूं. यही एक चीज भगवान चाहते हैं. तो 1 मिनट पूरे दिन में निकाल के सोचेंगे कि अंदर भी भगवान है, बाहर भी भगवान है, सब में भगवान है और सब ही भगवान है, और मैं ही भगवान हूँ. भगवान भगवान के साथ ही मिलना चाहते हैं. तो फिर दिल से कह पाएंगे, द हाईएस्ट इन मी bows to the highest in you. The light in me bows to the light in me. The Atma in me bows to the Atma in me. The Paramatma in me recognizes the Paramatma in me. और जो आप में कमियां हैं ना, जो आप में लगता है कि मेरे में खोट है, मेरे में कमी कमी है, उसका भी एक कारण है. ऑयस्टर में जब कोई इरिटेटिंग चीज आती है तो उसी के चारों तरफ पर्ल बनता है। दैट्स हाउ पर्ल इज मेड। तो आपके अंदर भी जो इरिटेटिंग चीज दी है भगवान ने, कुछ इरिटेटिंग चीज, कोई गुस्सा आता है आपको, ईर्ष्या आती है, कंपैरिजन होता है, रेस्टलेसनेस होती है, तो बहुत बढ़िया। ये भी आपको एक प्रकार का एडवांस्ड प्रसाद दिया गया है, एडवांस्ड आशीर्वाद दिया गया। एवरीथिंग इन इट्स राइट प्लेस। योर जॉब इज टू even embrace that, even accept that, even welcome that. Shukran, shukran. Gratitude even for the things I don't really like, I don't really like and approve of in myself, in others. Gratitude, gratitude. And the last message for you is that there's nothing you have to do in particular. It'll all happen. It has already happened naturally. Naturally, you were born. Naturally, you were drawn to learning certain things, doing certain things. Naturally, you attended today's session. This process will naturally keep unfolding, keep on unfolding. There's nothing you have to do. तो आपको ये कर्ता भाव हटा दीजिए। ये भी करना है, वो भी करना है। कर्ता भाव हटा दीजिए। नहीं हटता है तो वो भी मत हटाइए, कोई बात। Somebody sent me a message yesterday. I want to read it out to you. You attract what you are. So don't chase, don't force, don't beg. That will cause you to have experiences that generate more of those feelings. Don't chase, don't force, don't beg. जब भी हम बहुत ज्यादा पुश करते हैं ना, फोर्स करते हैं, तो रिजल्ट उल्टी जाती है। There is a divine timing at play. Excuse me. There is a divine timing at play, organizing everything. The timing is not for you to figure out. It all occurs perfectly beyond what your personality can understand. I will now ask you some questions. If you knew that whatever you wanted to have was inevitable, if you knew that whatever you wanted to have was inevitable, how would you feel? How would you act? How would you live? If you knew that your deepest desires were inevitable, you could relax, couldn't you? Maybe you could even feel grateful, enjoy the journey. Maybe you could walk more confidently. See, that's the energy to walk with, to make decisions from, to let ideas generate from. You are so incredibly loved and held here. You're so incredibly loved and held here. This whole universe is conspiring for you to experience your heart's deepest desire. It'll respond to who you're being, not who you want to be. I'll repeat that. It'll respond to who you are being, not who you want to be. Want to be has a very different energy from being. The universe responds to who you are being, not who you want to be. So take a deep breath in and exhale into the energy of knowing it's already done. What is already done? Tathastu. Ho gaya. Baat ban gayi. And enjoy the miraculous process of how it all unfolds. मेरे टीचर ने मुझे एक दिन बोला तुम क्या चाहते हो? तो मैंने कहा मैं मोक्ष चाहता हूँ, मैं मुक्ति चाहता हूँ। तो उन्होंने मेरे आंखों में देख के बोला इस जीवन में हो जाएगा। तो अब बस शांत रहो। He did exactly this, huh? What this passage is saying, इस जीवन में हो जाएगा, निश्चिंत रहो। कितनी अच्छी चीज कही। और ये भी कहा कुछ खास करने की जरूरत नहीं है। तो ध्यान करना है तो करो, नहीं करना है तो मत करो। तीर्थ यात्रा जाना है तो जाओ, नहीं जाना तो मत जाओ। हाँ। ग्रंथों को पढ़ना है तो पढ़ो, नहीं पढ़ना तो कोई बात नहीं, छोड़ो। कितनी कितनी अच्छी बात कही। तो मैं आपको यही चीज जो उन्होंने मुझे दी है, इतनी बढ़िया उन्होंने आशीर्वाद दिया, मैं आपको देना चाहता हूँ। मैं आपसे पूछता हूँ आप क्या चाहते हो? तो मन ही मन सोच लीजिए जो भी आप चाहते हैं। कैन बी डिफरेंट फ्रॉम व्हाट आई सेड, डजंट हैव टू बी अ वेरी स्पिरिचुअल थिंग। तो मैं आपसे कहूंगा तथास्तु, तथास्तु, तथास्तु। हो गया। नाउ एंजॉय द प्रोसेस। Enjoy the process, enjoy the journey. Now walk confidently, breathe in a relaxed way. Don't push so hard, don't force things, and definitely don't beg. नहीं हो रहा है, कोई असाइनमेंट नहीं हो रहा है तो ठीक है, नहीं हो रहा है, डोंट गो अरे सर ट्राई अगेन, नो नॉट रिक्वायर्ड। मन चाहिए हो तो अच्छा, ना हो तो और भी अच्छा। If you like this session, good. If you didn't like this session, fantastic. I really mean it, I'm not even joking. Fantastic. You learned over 1 hour, you learned all the things you don't need to do. Your clarity got sharper. Fantastic, love it. You seeing what I'm saying? This is how you set yourself free. This is how you set other people free. And the blessing I've given you right now, it doesn't stop at you. It is going to multiply through you. So every interaction you have with your family members, with your clients, with other friends, without even saying anything, you will carry this vibration of tathastu, tathastu, ho gaya, purnamadam, purnamida, purnamidam. This is complete, that is complete. Purnat purnamidachati, purnasya purnamadaya, purnameva visheshati. This is complete, that is complete. What is complete comes from what is complete. And when you take what is complete from what is complete, what is left is also complete.
Sir, can you please repeat this line? The whole universe is conspired.
The whole universe is conspiring. Let me open up. The whole universe, वो तो कहते हैं ना, शाहरुख खान कहते हैं पूरी कायनात, क्या कहते हैं, पूरी कायनात हासिल करने में something like that. The whole universe is conspiring for you to experience your heart's desire. The whole universe. किसी चीज को बड़ी शिद्दत से चाहो तो पूरी कायनात, पूरी कायनात उसे हासिल करने में जुट जाती है, something like that. So it's a translation of the same line. The whole universe is conspiring for you to experience your heart's desire. देखिए अगर आपको बस दे दें तो उसमें मजा क्या है? थोड़ा सा जब हम यत्न करते हैं, जतन करते हैं, तब मजा आता है ना। अगर ऐसी दे दिया तो फिर उसमें क्या मजा है?
Right.
तो
Thank you,
थोड़ा
sir.
यत्न, थोड़ा हम यत्न करेंगे, थोड़ा प्रयत्न करेंगे, थोड़ा फेलियर होगा, थोड़ा डिसअपॉइंटमेंट होगा, तब मजा आता है, तब लगता है कि कुछ कुछ हासिल हुआ है। जिसको सब कुछ प्लेट पे ही दे दिया, जो रिच फैमिली में पैदा हुआ है, घर दे दिया, गाड़ी दे दी, गुड लुक्स दे दिए, कुछ मतलब कुछ बचा ही नहीं, फिर क्या मतलब, बोर हो जाएंगे, कुछ बचा ही नहीं करने के लिए। पर जो बहुत यत्न से, मतलब बड़ी मुश्किल से कॉलेज जाते हैं, बड़ी मुश्किल से पहली गाड़ी लेते हैं, गाड़ी छोड़ो, पहली पहली साइकिल लेते हैं, स्कूटर लेते हैं, बड़ी मुश्किल से, तो कितना मजा आता है जितना हमने परिश्रम करके किया है। तो बस यही बात है। सो इट्स एक्चुअली वेरी सिंपल। What I have to share is very simple. You're whole and complete. And when you operate from that understanding, I'm whole and complete, including my flaws, by the way. I don't claim to be perfect. I have a lot of flaws. And my flaws are also whole and complete. When you meet me and you recognize I have a divine nature and I have a human nature, you know what's beautiful about that? My divinity will inspire you and my humanity will make you feel, अच्छा अगर ऐसे व्यक्ति को मिल सकता है तो मुझे भी मिल सकता है. My humanity makes it the divinity accessible. So the greatest teachers were both human and divine, and you are also human and divine. So embrace the humanity of you and the divinity of you. Embrace yourself completely, and you will create magic in this life. Nothing can stop. The amazing things are going to come through you. Even you're going to be surprised. And it'll come through without your doing, without your wanting. It'll just happen. Shivani, over to you.
Thank you. This is simply a mind-blowing, speechless session. I hope there are similar comments in the chat box as well. Connecting to our true self.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I recently began teaching a 21-minute meditation. It's called Practice for Life, which I think is a nice integration of many of the things I've learned. So, Shivani, would it be okay to put a link in the chat?
Yeah.
It's a WhatsApp group where I share this.
Yeah.
So you can join this. It's
Yeah.
called Practice for Life. You can join if you like, and I'll teach this practice to all of you. It's a 21-minute practice. It's supposed to be done twice a day. Do it once in the morning, once in the evening. And if you find the practice useful, then you make a commitment. I'll try this for 21 days. I will practice once in the morning, once in the evening for 21 days. And then you will see for yourself the transformation that happens, the shift that happens. So I want to not end just what ends up happening is we have a powerful session, but then people don't know what to do after that. So let me just find the link for you. So if you want to go deeper into some of these things, ultimately it's all already inside of you. It's just about tapping into it, touching into it. The real purpose of spiritual practices actually are for us to tire out your thinking mind, tire out your seeking mind. So I'm going to share the link here in the group chat. And go ahead and join that if you like. The practice is free to learn. Anybody can learn it. And then the 21-day commitment, you can do it by yourself or you can do with me. Details will be provided for that if you want to go deeper into it.
Thank you for guiding us through this journey.
So nice. Can I hear from some of you before we end? Just unmute and say anything you want to say.
It was amazing, beautiful, and peaceful session.
Wonderful, Dhara.
Felt like left all the stress behind.
Wonderful. And I like how the light is right behind you. So you're full of light. You're glowing.
Thank you.
And I wish that everything that was touched in you today, it becomes more and more accessible to you, more and more available to you, and you become a channel of that. You know, it just takes. We think transformation happens over time. Transformation happens timelessly. It's a shift. It's a click. Something clicks in our brain, and our life changes.
Yes.
So beautiful, Dhara. Thank you for that. Anyone else like to say something? Gaurav, please go
I'd
ahead.
like to go ahead. I would
Yeah.
like to go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So uh, uh, towards the end of the session, there's this statement that came to my mind, and that is when we do something, we're able to do it because we just could do it. So, for example, I got to know about this group that Shivani is operating, Skilling on Saturdays, maybe a month back or 1.5 months back. And she initially, when I joined that group, she shared some 3, 4 links with me. She's like, these are the 3, 4 links. You just go through some videos. Those were YouTube links. You go through the videos. If you find these videos useful, maybe you can join our upcoming session. I could never get time to watch those videos. I could never get time to join these sessions on Saturday. I could do it before today. Today I could do it because I just woke up. I just woke up at 7:03, 7:03, and all of a sudden I just opened my WhatsApp and Shivani's channel is the first thing I could see, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Wow, I'm in the right moment." The session is supposed to start from 7, and I am
Yeah.
awake at 7:03. Let me join this session. So I could join this session because I could just do it. I didn't need to watch those videos or
Yeah.
so similar way. I aspire to be an entrepreneur in life, and
Yeah.
I've tried a few times before and failed at it. And till before joining this session, I used to think, why is everybody able to do it, and why am I not able to do it? And today I feel like I got the answer. He was able to do it because he could do it.
Yes.
As simple as that. Nothing more than that.
So nice.
So today I was able to join the session because I could join the session because I
So
just
beautiful.
woke up and this realization came to me,
So powerful.
and I feel so light. I'm feeling emotional. Sorry.
No, it's so
I'm sorry.
beautiful because there's such a weight of doership. No, I'm an entrepreneur. I have to
It's
make it happen. It's not happening. It's my fault. I'm not learning enough. I'm not networking enough. Such a heavy burden.
I know. I feel so
Arey,
light
not
today.
just you don't want to be an entrepreneur. The universe wants to bring something out of you. It's not just a stupid entrepreneur journey. There is some light in you that wants to come out. We all want to benefit from that. And not only
Yeah.
will we benefit from your becoming an entrepreneur, you will benefit in the process. So and don't call it a failure. It is a process. It is a manthan that's going on. तो जैसे आज का
Right.
सेशन बड़ा स्पॉन्टेनियसली हो गया, आप उठ गए और ज्वाइन कर गया, तो ये बड़ा ध्यान से मैंने किसी को ये कभी कभी आजकल सबसे बढ़िया विजडम व्हाट्सएप पे मिलती है, तो मुझे किसी ने पिक्चर भेजी, द डोर्स दैट आर मेंट फॉर यू विल ओपन without your knocking. Today's door opened for you without your knocking. So in your business journey, your entrepreneur, just trust. जो खुलना होगा अपने आप खुलेगा, मुझे नॉक करने की भी जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी, खुल जाएगा बस. तो ये आप फीलिंग रखिए तो बहुत सुंदर आपका प्रोग्रेस होगी. सो नाइस शुभम, थैंक यू फॉर शेयरिंग फ्रॉम योर हार्ट. गौरव.
Yes, Mr. Nithya, really wonderful session. Of course, let me make things lighter. The best time is ये जो phase चल रहा है, which is good because IQ doesn't matter much, EQ matters. So emotional
Yeah.
intelligence वाला time है. So good, it's good for me also, I will say.
Good.
And frankly, I can say when you said about don't chase, don't force, don't beg, really,
Yeah.
really eye opener for me also. Because sometimes we do multiple times, the क्यों नहीं हो रहा है वो. I think उसका जो divine timing which you just said, I think I will take this with me. I know there are many नित्यधार and all जो आपने सारे दृष्टिधार and all share किए हैं, बहुत सारी learnings हैं. When you said that I'm not thinking for many key takeaway, at that time we have so many takeaways always. And one thing I can see that a lot of time I get very curious. अगर मैंने like शिवानी's के session में कुछ attend किया, कुछ सीखा, I feel जितने लोगों से connect करूं, सबको मैं share करूं. And there I found my core value of teaching, mentoring, coaching
Exactly.
also.
Yeah, that's true. We are like that now. And you know what you'll find is, you probably already discovered it, Gaurav, that in the process of sharing, your understanding gets deeper. In the
Always.
process
Right.
of telling your friend, they'll ask you a question, you'll think about it. So what I learned is that when I teach, I cannot help but dive deeper into it. I cannot help but clarify more. So my teacher said that teach others what you want to learn. Teach others what you want to master. Teach others what you want to become one with. Teach that to others. So I don't know if any of you got anything out of today, but because I was continuously in that, I was Meraki. What is Meraki? I'm pouring myself again and again into that bhav, into that thing. So in the process, I'm also getting enlivened. I'm also getting purified. So this is a beautiful, and some of us have that, like you have that, even I have that sense. Share karo, share karo. किसी को नहीं होता है. Let me practice it. वो भी ठीक है. Let me deepen it. औरों को बताने से पहले खुद तो थोड़ा practice कर लें. वो भी ठीक है. So we're all made differently, and it's fine. I don't think one is better than the other.
Absolutely. And the last one line to say that sometime like example, I'm living away from my parents. तो मुझे जो भी old uncle auntie मिलते हैं, उनके साथ अच्छा time spend करना. So I feel that उधर parents के साथ नहीं हूँ, इधर हूँ. But when I realize, when I go back to my hometown, I saw similar people like me. They are spending good time with my parents. So I feel
अरे
ये
वाह.
सब connected है. So it is divine
कितनी
flow.
सुंदर बात है.
So,
कितनी सुंदर बात
yeah.
है.
Thank you so much for this session. Thank you.
Well said, Gaurav. And in a way, the way we treat others, like you're meeting old people, you're enjoying their company. You're creating a universe where your parents also are getting met by others. They're also, this is how it works. When I'm kind, I'm living in a kind universe.
Hmm.
When I'm sharing wisdom teachings openly, I'm receiving wisdom teachings openly. So there's a powerful ancient teaching that every one of us is a god. And why are we here? We are here to have experiences so that we decide, I want more of this and I want less of this. So each of us is in a process of universe creation. And I will have certain experiences and no, I don't want that. And I'll have certain, oh, I want that. So we're in a process of creating a universe for ourselves. And every experience tells us, okay, more of this, less of this, more of this, less of this. What a powerful way of thinking. And in that way, you're creating your universe. Yatha drishti tatha shrishti. जैसे देखेंगे वैसे पाएंगे.
Right. Ji. Mhm.
Great.
So nice.
And be a देना
Well said.
बैंक. कहते हैं ना जितना देना बैंक बनोगे, God will make you लेना बैंक. आपके पास आता रहेगा, आप देते रहोगे.
अरे वाह, सही बात है. ये तो बिल्कुल सही बात है. Very good.
Thank you so much.
So, Sumita, go ahead.
Yeah. My question is, due to our conditioning, how to separate our thoughts or the labels? As you said, when we meet two people, never meet, only the layers of their thoughts and our stories
Yeah.
keep cropping up. So, separating our thoughts and story and adopting what you said today to see or look the person as it is it
Yes.
require certain practice or that awareness itself is suffice? Being in
It's
that awareness,
actually,
because
yeah,
it's an autopilot mode and our
yeah.
conditioning over the long years. Yeah.
You know, a room can be dark for a million years, but when I put on the light is on. So it's true, we have a lot of conditioning, we have a lot of expectation, a lot of disappointments. Like in your own family, nobody escapes this. In your own family, you will, when you look at people in your family, you will have some disappointment, you will have some expectation, you will have some pain, and you will have some love, right? It's all there. It's all a nice big mix. But then you challenge yourself to say, but right now, what's it like to be with you right now, without those layers? And you're very capable. You're very capable of that. So here the question you can ask yourself: who am I without my stories? Like stories of you or just any stories. Who am I? Like right now, I'm with you, Sumita. Who am I without my stories? And it's fresh. At least for a few moments, it's fresh. It's like I'm not mixing up this experience with, oh, you asked me this, and therefore you're like this, and you're sitting in this kind of a room, and no, it's just, oh, who am I without my stories? So my teacher told me it's glimpse after glimpse after glimpse. Don't expect that you learn something and suddenly your life changes. No, it's glimpse after glimpse. तो वो जुगनू होते हैं ना, आपने देखा fireflies, थोड़ी सी light आती है, चली जाती है, light आती है. So we start by being a little jugnu. Then we become a little bit of a candlelight. Then we become sunlight. So this is the process, but it's a natural process. Just like the caterpillar becomes the butterfly, it's a natural process. Some of the things I've said today, they're going to go inside of you like a seed, and you'll notice over the coming weeks and months and years, and sometimes even lifetimes, the seed blossoms. And you will understand, the things I'm telling you, Somita, even I keep discovering new and new layers to it. I've taught this for so many years. But every time I discover new, oh my goodness, it's so amazing. It's so deep. Oh, that's what it means to meet myself. Oh, that's what it means to see another person. That's what it means to disappear in favor of the other person. So you just orient yourself in the right direction, and life has a momentum. So now you found this interesting, this idea of meeting without stories, without expectation and layers. You found this interesting. Just orient yourself in this direction, and you'll notice life has an intelligence of its own. I said many things. This thing kind of stood out for you. There's a reason for that. It's not an accident. So now try, and of course, you'll fail. The very next conversation, you might get angry, or you might say, "Kya kuch kiya nahi." Koi baat nahi. You'll notice that, look, here we go again. Same process is happening. I'm not meeting the person, I'm meeting my ideas about the person.
Yeah.
It is usually easier with strangers. It's a little harder. Don't, like, you go to a gym, you don't pick the heaviest weight up. So don't expect that, your husband, your children, your other family. It'll be harder. So, but start with easier people, maybe clients, people you meet once in a month. You'll find a little bit easier there. Let me just meet them for a few seconds. Let me not impose ideas onto them. And that gets easier. People you work with. And little by little, get it closer home. And the hardest ones are usually the closest family members. Parents are hard because there's so many experiences. And the hardest one of all is yourself, because we have so many ideas about ourselves. Thank you, Samantha. Wonderful.
And
Beenal?
one more,
Oh, yeah, go
small,
ahead. Yeah.
very.
Yeah, please.
Um,
Please.
as you said, when we are delivering some topic or when we are doing some work, let's be in that flow, right? And what is over, it's done. Like,
Yeah.
don't assess your worthiness, and don't operate from the space of should tos and have tos.
Yeah.
But how the reflection helps, because if I don't go back and check it, there is no room for improvement. So that
Definitely. Yeah.
1% improvement happens only through the reflection.
Very good. Reflection is perfect. We don't need to get into criticism and comparison. And so, have you heard of a phrase called feed forward? Feedback is this happened, this was not good, this was good. This is called feedback. Feed forward is this happened, this went well, how can we do better? Different energy. Like in this session, you can give me feedback. Nithya, ye aapne अच्छा kiya, ye aapne अच्छा nahi kiya. This is called feedback. Feed forward. Nithya, this went so well. And next time, let's also do this. Let's also keep more time for questions or fill in the blanks, right? And that's great. Because you can't, if you look back and say, "Arey, but ye theek nahi hua," then the whole experience gets a little mixed up. I'm going to say it was perfect. Whatever happened was perfect. The early days in your career, you chances are you made many mistakes, many embarrassing things happened. But that was not wrong. It was a part of the process. So you can look back and smile and say, how wonderful. And in the future also, there'll be many things that work out, don't work out. So reflection is a very key part of this, but not in a way of comparing yourself, judging yourself, criticizing yourself.
Constructive feedback, or your focus defines your feeling, basically.
It's like a feedback loop, right? Round and round. It's getting purified. Beautiful. So it's done with
Thank you
love,
so much.
done with love as opposed to with judgment. Then it happens.
Okay. Thank you so
In a
much for a
soft way.
wonderful session. Yeah.
Let's take Hirani and Pallavi, then we can end with that. Hirani, go ahead. I'm not sure she's there. Pallavi?
Yeah, good morning, sir. So your session was incredibly calming and insightful. Yeah, it was gentle guidance and practical wisdom helped me to feel more centered and present. I love the way you teach, and thank you for giving me the wonderful. January के first week में having a session was just a blessing.
Yeah, thanks Shivani for that. Shivani said आपको पहले हफ्ते में लाएंगे. मैंने कहा बहुत अच्छा.
Thank you for
करेंगे.
deeper understanding of mindfulness. Thank you so
Very
much,
nice,
sir.
Pallavi. Thank you. Appreciate that. Beenal?
Thank you so much, Nithya sir, for the wonderful session. I never had thought that way ki everything is aligned and atoms and everything. And today was a revolution, and I never thought this way ki when we love others and we actually forget ourselves and we think, there were so many learnings, one after the other. Feed forward thing was so insightful. I have one question. We are in the pattern of again and again, repeatedly same thoughts, same things. How
Right.
can we get rid of it? That's the first question.
Yeah, beautiful question. Yes, you are in a pattern. Not only your thoughts, but even your body is a pattern. You'll notice if you get cut, the healing happens, the skin comes back to the same shape again. Right? Your hair will grow in the same color. There's a pattern. And every cell of your body is actually a pattern. It's following pattern. Your genetic information is a pattern. Cultural patterns. Indians have a certain way of thinking, certain way of behaving. We'll do namaste. We'll take our shoes out before entering a house. We'll eat with our right hand. This is all a pattern. Cultural patterns are also there. Then I'm talking right now in language. Language is a pattern. I'm using grammar. I'm using pauses. Right? That's a pattern. So life is nothing but patterns. Understand that. Patterns, more than changing a pattern with a new pattern, that also can be done. You can interfere with one pattern, bring in another pattern. So that is called reconditioning or reprogramming. But what I'm offering you today is another method that is not talked about much. It is called deconditioning, deprogramming. So when I said, what if every atom is in the right place? That's an example of deprogramming. That's an example of जो है, जैसा है, वैसा है. मैंने ग्लास रखा है पानी का, इसमें थोड़ा पानी हिल रहा है. मैंने बोला चलो इस पानी को स्टिल करते हैं. जितना मैं ट्राई कर रहा हूँ स्टिल हो ही नहीं रहा. It's still moving, it's still shaking. I'm trying. I'm right now I'm near the ocean right now. The waves keep coming. Let's make it flat. Let's make it flat. No luck. Waves keep coming. But when I put this glass down, in less than a minute, it becomes completely still. So my response to your question is yes, there are patterns, but don't try to change the patterns. This is like the totally opposite advice anybody will ever give you. Let the patterns be. So maybe you have a pattern of jealousy. Maybe you have a pattern of going into the past. And I'm going to give you opposite advice. Don't try to change it. Like I said earlier in the session, don't try to be present. And something amazing happens when you don't try to push and pull. It is what it is. उसके पीछे जो रेस्टलेस है ना, रेस्टलेसनेस वो निकल जाती है, तो बस खोखला हो जाता है. बाहर से जो पैटर्न जो है, the inner thing that's driving it, that settles down. और अगर हमने फ्यूल देना बंद कर दिया था, दिए में फ्यूल देना बंद, ऑयल डालना बंद कर, थोड़ी देर बाद दिया खत्म हो जाएगा. कब तक जलेगा दिया? तो जो भी आपकी पैटर्न है वो अपने आप काम हो जाएगी, सेटल हो जाएगी. आदि शंकर कहते हैं, आदि शंकराचार्य कहते हैं, प्रारब्धाय समर्पितम. क्या मतलब? हमारे जीवन में कुछ कर्म है जो आने ही वाले हैं. कोई ना कोई हमें गुस्से वाले होने वाले हैं, कोई ईर्ष्या वाले होने वाले हैं, कोई बहुत मतलब क्रेविंग वाले होने वाले हैं. वी आर ऑल डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ पीपल. सम ऑफ अस आर वेरी ऑर्गेनाइज्ड, सम ऑफ अस वेरी डिसऑर्गेनाइज्ड. देयर आर सर्टेन पैटर्न्स यू आर बोर्न विद. एंड आदि शंकरा से प्रारब्धाय समर्पितम, surrender. All right. Don't fight it. Don't force it. Don't fight it. Don't force. Don't try to transform it. और अंदर से कुछ खुलेगा बस. बड़ी सुंदर बात. This poison is part of your medicine. This pattern that you're struggling with it's precisely designed for your liberation. That's what I have to tell you. So you bow down to your pattern. In fact, if that is the one thing you can all do today, you bow down to your patterns. Your patterns of restlessness, your patterns of anxiety, your patterns of comparison. Bow down to. This is also God in this guy. These are my primary teachers, more than outer gurus and this and that and ashrams. It keeps me active all day. Doesn't leave me it keeps me honest. चाहे मैं व्हाइट कपड़े पहन लूं, चाहे मैं माला कर लूं, कुछ नहीं होने वाला. ये पैटर्न मुझे पता खत्म, कुछ बात कोई नहीं है अभी आपकी, भी चल रहा है. तो दिस इज द प्राइमरी गुरु ना. तो आप अपना रिलेशनशिप बदलो, उसे मत बदलो. यू चेंज योर रिलेशनशिप विद इट और सब कुछ बदल जाता है. आपको बस ये एक चीज समझ में आ जाएगी, तो स्ट्रगल खत्म हो जाएगी. और जो भी उसमें जलावन बाकी है वो खत्म हो जाएगा अपने. 1 साल लगेगा, 2 साल लगेगा, 10 साल लगेगा, जलावन खत्म हो जाएगा. और उसी चीज को I used to say that compared to someone, my problems are acute. But compared to someone, my problems are very cute. So when I meet you next time, Beenal, you'll tell me, Nithya, I have problems. They're very cute problems. And they really are, aren't they? I mean, come on. Most of the people here, if they hear your real problems, they think कितने cute problem. मुझे दे दीजिए अपने problem. Because compared to someone, they're a cute problem. But compared to someone, they're cute problems. So look at yourself like this. I have such cute problems. I have such adorable problems. I have such fun problems. And then life becomes sweet. Nothing needs to change. So on that happy note, handing it back to Shivani to complete.
Thank you so much, sir, for that wonderful insight. I've never thought it to give that adjective as a cute and wonderful fun problem. I think the half of the problem is in the perception that it is over already.
You said it so well. Thanks, Dina.
And
Go
one
ahead.
more last
Thank you.
question. If you're saying that way, so we should not desire anything if every atom and everything is right.
No,
So we should not
even
desire, or we
desire.
should not work on it.
See here. No, that's not true. See, in fact, say this with me. Everything is perfect,
Everything is perfect,
including
including
my desire to improve it.
my desire to improve it.
तो वो भी perfect है. अगर सब कुछ perfect है, तो जो आपका desire है कि ये बदले, वो भी perfect है. So this is how amazing it is. So we're not even saying don't desire. I'll end with the Shivani since you brought up this question. हमारे ग्रंथों में we have शिव भगवान, right? शिव भगवान का एक और नाम है भोलेनाथ. क्या मतलब भोलेनाथ? भोले मतलब innocent. भोलेनाथ मतलब God. तो क्यों भोले हैं? जो भी आप मांगोगे वो बड़े भोले हैं, दे देंगे आपको, दे तथास्तु. तो जो भी आप मांगोगे दे देंगे, जो भी आप मांगोगे दे देंगे। तो बड़े बड़े अच्छे गॉड है, कुछ भी मांग लो दे देंगे। पैसा मांगना है पैसा ले लो, कुछ मतलब शोहरत। और ये भी नहीं है कि ये भी सात्विक, ही डजंट केयर अबाउट सात्विक तामसिक राजसिक, इवन इफ यू आस्क फॉर अदर थिंग्स ही विल गिव यू एनीथिंग यू वांट, राइट? सो ही इज भोलेनाथ तथास्तु। बट देयर द कैच, लॉर्ड शिवा इज द लॉर्ड ऑफ ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन, डिस्ट्रक्शन। तो जो भी आप मांगोगे वही चीज आपको तहस नहस कर देगी। और बड़ी अच्छी बात है, तहस नहस बुरी बात नहीं है, बिकॉज योर रॉन्ग कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ हु यू आर, anything you ask for will be granted, but that will be the poison that kills you. Kills what? Kills your false idea of you. So hidden in Lord Shiva's blessing is Lord Shiva's curse, which is also Lord Shiva's blessing. So in other words, you will ask for something, you will get it, and you'll say, मैंने क्यों मांगा, मैंने क्यों मांगा, मैंने क्यों मांगा, क्या मैंने मांगा, गलत बात मैंने मांग ली। पर उसी मांगने में से आपको समझ आएगा कि मैं सचमुच में कौन हूँ, क्या हूँ। तो यही हमारी जर्नी है। They're the saint of Christian saint, Saint Avila. बड़ी अनोखी चीज कहती है। She says, more tears have been shed, more tears have been shed for answered prayers than for unanswered prayers. तो जो आप मांग रहे हैं, जब आपको मिल जाएगा तब भी आप रोओगे। ये नहीं बात है कि नहीं मिलने से रोते हैं, मिलने से भी रोते हैं हम लोग। तो ये बात है। So then even your desire is part of the process. You will desire, you will achieve, you will desire, you will achieve. Sometimes you'll not achieve. And in that process, in that manthan, something will wake up. Oh, I'm not any of this. Neti. I'm not this. I'm not who I think I am. I'm not this body. I'm not this mind. I'm not this world. And therefore, when I'm none of it, I can be open to all of it. I can disappear in favor of all of it. As long as I'm a something, I can only experience something. But only when I'm nothing, I'm available to everything. God is
Wow.
nothing. That's why God experiences everything.
Nitya ji, can I
Sorry,
say
I
Thank you
something?
so much, sir.
बोलिए।
I was walking with them. See, I'm a specially able person, so when I walk, I cannot take phone in hand. And you called me
good.
out. Sorry, the whole session was very nice, fantastic, and very deep learning.
Good. Thank you so
And
much.
there's some good
Wonderful.
learning, yeah. Some
Yeah.
very different, something very different. Because you came
So
from
nice.
Jain monk.
Why not?
Anyway, it was fantastic. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Nithya ji, can I ask a couple of questions, please?
I'll ask Shivani if she thinks we have the time. I'm okay.
Okay.
If
Okay.
you are okay, it's okay.
I'll take Kalpana's and Mohan's question. We'll end with that. Okay, Mohan ji, please.
Okay. And thank you very much, for the fantastic session, which we found, a lot of depth and content in what you said. But most of the statements made by you, I found, to be out of box, which makes me, say that, human minds, are conditioned to such an extent that, we find it, difficult to decondition. My question to you is, how do we decondition, already conditioned mind?
Yes. Actually, you don't have to decondition the mind. You have to just recognize just how conditioned it is. It will be it is like emptying an ocean, trying to decondition the mind. The mind is nothing but conditioning. Every word I use is a conditioned word. Even to answer your question, I'm using conditioning actually. But to recognize, when I meditate, I recognize, wow, my entire body is conditioned. Wow, my emotions are programmed. Even my desires are programmed. If I was born in a village, I'd have different desires. If I'm born in a city, I have different desires. If I'm born as a man, I have different desires. If I'm born in Netherlands, I have different desires. If I'm born in a forest, I have different desires. My desires are programmed. My opinion of myself is programmed by what people have told me. Nithya, you're good at this. Imagine every time I spoke, they're like, boring talk, don't talk. I would have stopped. At some point, I'll stop speaking. Because people say, good talk, good talk. They're conditioning me. I keep speaking because people say, अच्छा बड़ा अच्छा बोला, बड़ा अच्छा बोला. तो वो भी तो conditioning ही तो है. So then I realized, wow, ये तो सब कुछ ही conditioning है. The world is conditioned. Sun goes around the earth goes around the sun. Then there is the galaxies, and they're following their own orbit. They're following their own principles. Oh my goodness, it's all conditioned. It's all conditioned. So my aim is not to decondition, but there is something in me that is already, that was never. मेरे टीचर कहते हैं, मैं आपसे पूछता हूँ मोहन जी, before you were born, and before your mother was born, and before your grandmother was born, what was your face like before your grandmother was born?
Don't know.
Now this is the kind of question that gives you a small taste of what I'm talking about. कुछ आप कुछ कह ही नहीं सकते. मदर के
Right.
बर्थ से पहले, ग्रैंड मदर के बर्थ से पहले मैं कौन था? तो मतलब माइंड बोले क्या पकड़ूं मैं, क्या पकड़ूं, कोई पकड़ने के लिए है ही नहीं वहां पर. So that is an example of an unconditioned state. So
Right.
we practice to get glimpse after glimpse of this state. So a simple answer to your question would be, many times in the day you ask yourself, who am I without all my stories?
Right.
Or the other version would be, I gave that question also, what if this is the most perfect moment of my life? What if this is heaven actually? And this powerfully challenges your conditioning. Because conditioning से देने ये भी होना चाहिए, वो भी होना चाहिए, ऐसे तो होना चाहिए, इतना तो होना चाहिए, तभी तो ठीक होगा. So like this, you challenge the conditioning of your mind like this. And that is a glimpse of the unconditioned within the condition.
Yeah, thank you very much. One more question. All the scriptures of the world, they say that we should live in the present moment, to enjoy life. But which I find, the most Herculean task, for human
Yeah.
beings. It took, almost 30 years, for Lord Buddha, to state that, live in the
Yeah.
present moment spontaneously. How do we, live, in the present moment? Though there are, statements like, okay, you have to do, meditation for so many hours, so that you can stay in the present moment, which I find it bit difficult. It is easy to say, okay, live in the present moment, to enjoy life, but this is the one question, it keeps
Hey,
cribbing
good
me.
question. Good question.
Yeah.
In fact, I also asked my teacher this question, and he said, "How do you define the present?" I said, "Well, there's a minute, there's a second, and then there's the moment." It's like this, there's an
Yes.
hour, there's a minute, there's a second, and then there's a moment, and that's the
There
present
is
moment.
no
He said wrong,
second. Yes.
and he said wrong. I said, "Why is it wrong?" He said, "The present is so big, the entire universe fits in it. The present is so big, the entire past fits in it. The present is so big, the entire future fits in it. In fact, your whole life you have been nothing but present. When you talk about the past, it is not, there is no past. There is a thought in the present. When I ask you, मोहन जी जब आप 10 साल के थे कहाँ रहते थे, तो एक थॉट
Right.
आएगा, हाँ मैं यहाँ रहता था, वहां रहता था. आपके पिताजी क्या करते थे, हाँ ये करते थे, वो करते थे. तो ये तो अभी थॉट आया ना आपका, पास में थोड़ी गए हैं आप. There
Right.
is a thought
Right.
in the present. So he completely redefined it for me. He said the present is always there.
Okay.
Past is a thought, future is a thought, any other concept is also a thought. So instead of saying how do we be, it's like मछली आती है, गुरु, दो मछलियां हैं और गुरु मछली के पास आती है, बोलती है हमने ये समुद्र के बारे में सुना है, समुद्र होता है, समुद्र, समुद्र कहाँ पर है बताइए, समुद्र क्या 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 रास्ता है समुद्र पे जाने का, क्या है समुद्र? तो गुरु
Right.
कहते हैं अरे सब कुछ ही आप आए हैं समुद्र से, जाएंगे समुद्र में, सब कुछ ही समुद्र है. बोलते हैं ये तो बड़ा कॉम्प्लिकेट, समझ नहीं आ रहा क्या कह रहे हैं. तो यही बात है जो आप पूछ रहे हो, ऐसी मछली वाली क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे हो, ये कैसा प्रेजेंट में
Right.
कैसे ले, अरे यू आर नथिंग बट प्रेजेंट, व्हाट आर यू टॉकिंग अबाउट, योर होल लाइफ इज प्रेजेंट, यू हैव नेवर बीन आउट ऑफ द प्रेजेंट. You have some idea about the present. That idea is the trouble, not the present.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I want to say best of luck not being in the present. Instead of saying how do I be in the present, you're saying it's a Herculean task. I will say it is the most natural task. It is not even a task. In fact, it's Herculean not to be in the present.
Yes.
It is
Yes.
not Herculean to be in the present. Your idea of the present is mistaken, not the present. And what is
Yeah.
present? The present has two meanings. Present has meaning of now. Present has also meaning of gift, isn't it? I got you a present.
Yes.
So Mohan ji, this is a gift, right? You and I are interacting. We've never met. तो एक तो ये टेक्नोलॉजी है, फिर शिवानी जी ने ऑर्गेनाइज किया है, तो ये गिफ्ट ही तो है. तो क्या
Gift.
गिफ्ट, आप सुबह उठे ये गिफ्ट नहीं है क्या? और लोग मर गए पर आप उठ गए. आपको कुछ खाने को मिला, ये गिफ्ट नहीं है क्या? आपको पानी
Yes.
पीने को मिलता है, ये गिफ्ट नहीं है क्या? सांस लेने को, अरे योर होल लाइफ इज अ गिफ्ट.
Yeah. Everything is a
तो
gift.
ऐसे ऐसे देखेंगे तो फिर यही बात होगी ना, प्रेजेंट मतलब इट इज हियर, एंड प्रेजेंट मोमेंट इट मीन इट्स अ गिफ्ट. तो ऐसे देखेंगे तो you'll find your entire question resolved. There is no
Right.
struggle to be in the present. It is so beautiful. It is a gift. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And it's beautiful. Life takes over.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir, for giving your different perspective, to live in the present. Fantastic. Just out of the world. Thank you very much.
So nice,
God
Mohan
bless
ji.
you. God bless you.
Kalpana,
Yes.
thank you so much. Kalpana, let's listen to Kalpana.
Thank you, sir, permitting the time I got the opportunity. First of all, I'm grateful for today's session. I'm little selfish that I wanted to have that interaction. And one enlightenment I want. In fact, all of us I want. You have mentioned many things. We will call it, we found gems to live our life beautifully. So do your best in dharma. Leave the rest to karma. Pour yourself into what you are doing. So what happened? At this moment, I'm attending this session. At the same time, I'm getting the feeling that yes, I have to do cooking as well. Some of the work is also left. What going to happen after this session? And this process happening throughout the day, every single minute, every single hour. All of us are knowing that the enlightenment, that peace within ourselves lies in the sharing which you are doing, that being into the present moment. But we have that monkey mind, which is always not tend to be in our control. I want one learning from this session to take ahead after we'll disperse from today's session, that what that one habit we will inculcate that will help us to be in this moment, to be in state of flow, in state of deep work.
I want to say that even your monkey, what you're calling monkey mind, that is part of the process, Kalpana. It's not a problem. Just like you're thinking, अच्छा मुझे cooking भी तो करनी है. So I'm also thinking, I also have other things in my day. And it's a mixture, right? I have to be here. I want to be here with all of you, but I also have other things. And that's natural. It is wherever we are, a part of our mind checks. अच्छा और क्या करना है? और क्या important चीज है? So we have the ability to focus, and we have the ability to take in the context. What is required right now, right? It's not a problem. I don't think it's only a problem if you think that every moment of your day has to be focused. All the time has to be deep work. It cannot be. In fact, the greatest, if you look at the biographies of the most productive artists, writers, inventors, they never worked for more than 3 to 4 hours a day of deep work. It is not possible to sustain that. If you do more than 3 to 4 hours of deep work in a day, you cannot sustain it. So the people who wrote the most books, made the most inventions, had the biggest impact on society at the most 3 to 4 hours. It's a 24-hour day. So you're allowed to work, focus 3, 4 hours. Rest of the day, it's okay, be scattered. Let your mind wander. Scattering of the mind is good for creativity. Focusing of the mind is good for productivity. We need both. We need productivity also. We need creativity also. If you're only productive, you will not grow in life. If you're only creative, you will not grow in life. You need a balance of productivity and creativity. So please don't judge this part of you. That is what you're calling wandering mind, monkey mind, and all that. It is part of your nature. Sati Sampajanya, the Buddha calls it. Sati is awareness, mindfulness. Sampajanya is aware of the context, scatter. Sati is like this. Sampajanya is like this. It's a natural way of being. It's the only problem, even with Mohanji, the only problem with the understanding. We somehow learned the idea deep work. Or I have deep work, I have to focus, no, not always. Maybe 2, 3 hours, enough. Now enjoy the rest of it. When you're with your kids, just be with your kids, yeah. Don't try to focus on that. When you're sitting with friends, let's have a focused conversation on how to live a good life. No, your friend, leave me alone, yeah. Let's just talk about the movies we watched. Let's just talk about the gossip. It's all right. And yes, there will be a time like right now. This is the time to have a deep conversation, but not all day long. I mean, already some of you are getting a little tired, and you should get a little tired because there's other things to move on to. Right? Beautiful. Thanks, Kalpana. Wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Shivani?
Thank you, Nithya ji. Thank you so much for sparing your time with all of us and gracing us at Skilling on Saturdays. And a special thank for this extended time of conversation with our audience. I am sure this session would give answers to many of the people who are finding their answers, and definitely will serve guide, as I can say. Thank you so much for gracing
Thank you,
us.
Shivani, and keep doing this good work that's coming through you and the inspiration that's coming through. Manish, आप अगली बार लेते हैं चलिए अभी यहाँ पे खत्म करेंगे. All right. Thank you, everybody. It's been a joy. The highest in me.
Thank you.
Bows to the highest in me. And so it is. Tathas. 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 चलिए.
Thank you.